Hello.
Hello. Are we the only two again today?
Yeah, Sean's not available. He messaged me probably about half an hour ago or so. He can't make it. So it's just you and me, so you can pick my brain.
Oh, yes. Sorry. All
Love
right.
it. It's time to pick my brains. Go for it. You're on a roll.
I've had a powerful morning. I've had a powerful few weeks because, all this digging deep stuff. It's challenging for a lot of people, but it's so fucking worth it.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's awesome. And you have gotten obviously a lot more clearer and a lot more specific on what it is that you want to offer.
This morning is nailed it, man. Nailed it.
Well, there you go. Tell me. I want to hear about it.
I know you do, because you can tell that I'm just going, yes. All right. So, hang on. What did I just do? Just 1 second. I've transformed my document that I was making notes in to rotate it somehow at the click of some button. I have no idea what I pressed.
Oh, I love that.
Okay. I'll have to just work on that later, because I have no idea what I just did. Whoops. I think I must have just rotated the view somehow. How the freak tingles did I do that? Control Shift minus. Yeah, right. I'm sure that's not what I pressed. All right. Okay. So now that I've got that out of my head. Okay. You know how this goes back to a conversation you and I had probably some months ago now. We were talking about tech companies.
Yep.
And I said, yep, but I don't want to move on it until I have more clarity, right?
Yes. You mentioned it. I remember that.
Yes. So it was probably about 2 months ago. I didn't want to talk to Mike until I know exactly what my offer is and what it is, the whole package. So, and I'm happy to do this outside this call if you want, because I know you're probably recording this and it's probably not relevant to the actual content you've planned for this month.
Yeah,
but,
no, look, that's fine. It's a part of what you've taken action in. So we'll record some of it, and then if we need to talk outside of this space anyway, we'll do that. But just to give the guys context, we did speak about you refining your ideal client.
Yeah.
And
okay, just to give them context of how I've got to this. As I said, it is challenging for some people to do this, but it is so worth it.
Yeah.
I've basically gone through a process of identifying all the things that I've done, that I've enjoyed, who the people are that I'm naturally drawn to.
Yeah.
What else have I done? Oh, I've done a whole lot of work, so just bear with me and I'll kind of map through my notes very quickly. I've gone through, and you missed my Bloom presentation a couple of months ago, but I've gone through my innate expressions.
Yep.
The things that I'm innately good at, how I express myself and how I come across, the methods I come across to the world in, and what it is I'm mostly focusing on when I'm doing that. So I've really honed in on want some of those. And as I mentioned to you Tuesday, what that brought to light is that hippie kind of side of me that I've quashed and pushed down from corporate conditioning.
Yeah.
So that whole innate visionary spiritual side. Not going to happen anymore. I don't know to exactly what degree, but you know what? Doesn't matter, because it all unfold as it is. Now that I've accepted and acknowledged that is, I can't disown that. So just for another recap or kind of summary, what this process has given me is we often segment ourselves in life, and compartmentalize. So we compartmentalize parts of our life, business to family to working relationships, or work if you're in a job, to clients. So we segment a lot of that.
Yeah.
But which is crazy. We're conditioned to do that, but we can't. When you look at it logically and how kids operate, they can't do that. Neither should we, because what we actually do is break ourselves apart and make us broken when we do that.
Yeah.
Literally, we break ourselves.
Yeah.
So what this process has done is help me integrate all that different parts of me, all my different skills, segments, interests, innate abilities, all back into one.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's why it's extremely powerful. I mean, that's just one of the reasons.
Yeah,
okay. So what else have I done? I've gone through a few different steps, the things I kind of like helping people with or doing with people, what conversations we have, all those natural things, the repetition, looking really at the repetition that's been happening in my life for years. And it's brought me to this insight.
which is great. I think for those listening, but also just between the conversation that you and I are having, the fact that you have gone on this discovery, you found the learning, and now you're like, okay, I am now at that place where I know exactly what I'm delivering. I know that style, because that style of delivery is one thing, but then knowing the delivery itself is another thing. And now you've brought both aspects together.
Yeah, you kind of have to work from two angles. So I've gone from as I said, the past, looking at all the past stuff to see how I work best and what gets my juices flowing in a sense. But then you have to work from the other end and go, okay, but that's great, but what's my message? So now that I've identified the what it is on my side, my contribution, then it's a matter of identifying the who, which I've now done, as I'll tell you in a minute. And then, okay, what's the message? And then I have to work backwards. So the message, so you hop from detail to big picture and then work back down. So that's where I'm at. So the niche is the tech companies, but honing it even more is the innovative tech companies, particularly around community building and health.
And that came up last month too, isn't it? Like the health.
But it came up as a separate segment, remember?
Oh, okay. I get, as a standalone, where this is, you're talking tech companies that are delivering health. Okay.
So so the example here is, some of those medical robots.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a tech company that's involved in health. That's just one example. Okay.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
So it's
health,
really
and what
nice.
was the other one? Sorry, you said health, and what was the other one?
Building communities.
And an example for that?
So Facebook is a really bad example, but, there's a kind of simplistic example. So there's the social entrepreneurs, the social innovators who are using technology.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so you're very specific now. You're very
I'm very, very specific now.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
Clearly, you're like, oh my God, I'm buzzing.
Yeah. Can you tell?
No way. I couldn't pick that one up. I just got a wild guess.
But this is what happens when you get where it is you're meant to be.
Oh, definitely. Because from where you started at the start of the year to then you kind of going, okay, maybe I'll do some consulting. Then it was like, okay, repackage it. Then let me go back to this. And then it was like, I go back, but then I'm not really going back, and then I'm not sure. But now you've really honed in, brought it all back to, one, it's like honoring yourself and your self-worth, because you're super clear on that. Two, it's like, well, I'm really good at probably 10, 20 things, but I only want to do really 5.
Well, see, the challenge for me is I'm a multifaceted, multi-talented person. I'm good at pretty much anything I put my hand on.
Yeah.
There's not many things I can't put my hand on and go, okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
And do it quite well.
Yeah.
Which it actually confuses things even more. And I've been doing some work with Eric Chen, who's my, who you probably know, pitch and speech coach. And we had a conversation this week around people's ability. We're talking about pacing and all the different elements of speaking, but when we got to talk about the passion and the vision that we evoke, it has to be a conscious thing when you don't have the clarity and you don't have the confidence. But you hear the difference when someone is knowing their topic and passionate about it, all the pace, which is the first part we need to focus on, all the pace, the tone, all those other voice elements and presentation elements just happen naturally.
It's a direct result of that because they're in their element. They're
exactly.
Right. Yeah.
So your confidence increases. Your wanting to be visible. Your performance. Your everything. That comes from knowing where you need to be or what you need to be focusing on, and evoking your passion in your life and your business. So what I see, and you and I have had this conversation many times, but I'm sure, but what I see often is that people don't know their niche. They can't identify their niche because they can't find their thing, and I can't put a better word on it than thing, that is innately them, and bring that out. So without that, they don't have the confidence, they don't have the vision, they can't tap into the vision. It's all that stuff. And I put it more succinctly when we were talking, when Eric and I were talking this week, but it just has an effect on everything.
Oh, without a doubt. I think that's where that point of difference, along with passion and along with really knowing where you say yes and where you say no, kind of has that great divider, because it's so easy, as you said, when you are able to multi-skill on so many different things and you're able to do so many different things,
which is common these days.
Yeah, I think it's so easy to get hung up in all those task-oriented stuff when really you've got to take a check-in and go, no, I'm going to pull back. No, because I'm only going to do this and this, and that's it. And
yes,
in that place. So, no, well, that's awesome. Well done. That is super, super cool. So today, I'm obviously going to have a conversation with the others later. But today, what we were going to do was, because we didn't do October's topic, which was systems and automation, and then November's topic was client retainers. Let's talk about those two for you specifically, because Sean is working on some projects, meaning where I had my one-on-one with him, and we still need to get a few things done following on from his online presence and little tweaks. So I'm going to go over this with him, I suppose, a little bit differently, because I need the online stuff done before you can systemize and automate. So let's look at specifically these two for you, and just let's focus on you to make sure now that you have this discovery and you are clear in terms of the audience and what you're offering. Let's look at how you can systemize this as a business model, but also is there an option is there an option for you to put these people that you're going to do work for on retainers, so you're not constantly looking for leads?
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. There is more opportunity for that with this target market, I think, than many others that I've looked at. Just backtracking from me, just where my head's at right this second before we get into the two topics you're talking about today. What's in my head of where I need to go with this for me is I've decided to keep my existing brand for the small business clients, and a lot of what I've created will be relevant to them. So to some extent I still need to market that, but be given what I'm doing with Bloom and so forth, there's less effort I think needed for that, or less emphasis on that. It'll kind of happen a bit more naturally, I guess. I mean, not to say I don't need to refine the message there, but obviously that's part of it. But I do need to create some new brand around this new niche, and I have no idea where I'm going with that right at this minute. Before this call, while I was waiting, I was starting to work on my mission statement around that, and it's something I like, and I haven't got the right words for it yet, which is what I was mincing around with. The use of technology to bring communities closer. So there's what was the word I used earlier? Co-creative communities. Collaborative and co-creative communities. So I haven't quite got my words around that, but that's something, that's the vision of my mission. How that affects what we're talking about is it's all about that branding, and the branding depends on the system to some extent and the implementation and execution, because some brands will work better with some implementation systems and delivery methods than others. And so, yes, that's where I'm tying it in with what you're saying. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. So then do you think you rather today, because what I was going to say to you and to all of you today was, next year I'm doing the mastermind differently, but I'm going to give you guys access complimentary to next year's mastermind, just because some of you were not on the live call. You kind of floated around a little bit. So I'm just going to go, okay, you can all just have access to that. I'm going to do it differently. You'll get an email about the functionality of it next week, but it will run again from Feb to November, but it will be done completely different, but you'll have access to that. But that being said, did you rather want to work on tying in, looking at the brand and the systemization around that, and then kind of going, how would I then build a client retainer? So looking at the whole package today, is that what you want to do?
Yeah, so what I can tell you so far, and as I said, not a lot of clarity around this because I haven't spent a lot of time on this yet, because given it's only clicking in this morning, is that there will be 3 key levels of offering with a couple of side offers. And then let me just look at my notes on how many side offers I decided to do. I think it was 2, but it might be 3. Let me just double track.
So you're saying like your packages, is that what you're saying?
I'm talking about the steps in my funnel.
Oh, okay, okay.
In essence, I'm talking about the steps in my funnel. So when I find the right page in my notes, which is obviously a while ago. Nope, it's at the other end, that's fine. Bear with me 1 sec. So yeah, 3 levels with downsells which are not part of those levels, and side sells or upsells, one or the other. So there'll be 4 of those side or up or down sells in total. So there'll be 7 elements to it, which will be all interlinked. That's the beauty of what I'm doing. I'm not quite sure exactly how yet, but they'll be all parts thereof of the whole segment, the whole big offering. Okay. So there'll be just, like cut down versions or what have you. So that makes the system side of it much, much easier.
Oh, definitely. So then in that case.
So it's repurposing a lot of content and repackaging it.
Yeah, you're definitely repackaging it. So to give me, because I'm trying to figure out how it all flows, can you give me context of maybe 1 or 2 of the things in your funnel, just so I get...
as I said, I don't have a complete clarity around that yet. Okay, so what I envision it'll be something like at this point is that the top end will be that consultation, the retainer consultation stuff. That's what I imagine the top end will be. Which is where in my... which is my upsell offer 7. So the side to that, I have no idea what the side to that is going to be. The next step down from that will be no mentoring. So the consultation will include mentoring, advice, whatever they need, basically.
Yep.
To get the result will be to get their tech company and its employees understanding the mission and the milestones and the strategies, and then systems implementation and quality control systems, or whatever it is that will entail. It'll be the whole kind of overview there will be checked in. The next level down from that will be just a few tools to help them with that. A little bit of mentoring, but no consultation, no specific consultation advice. It'll be just a little bit more generalised, if you know what I mean. So that'll probably be the group kind of environment for younger tech companies.
Yeah. Okay.
If we really segmented the niche even more. And the key main offer will be some kind of assessment. I'm guessing, and as I said, I haven't had a lot of clarity around this yet, some kind of assessment tool so they can see where they're at. The side offer will probably be some, subscription to webinar or some other regular method they can hear what's going on and what I'm finding out or what's being experienced by those kind of businesses. In fact, just thinking about that, the assessment tool will probably be the low end offer, the free offer, I guess. But anyway, that's all I know at the moment.
No, that's fine. I think it's going to take some time to refine it.
Yes.
I feel like maybe you don't need so many elements with what you're doing because you have about 7 that you're thinking. But I'm thinking...
Yeah, a lot of these will just be, as I said, cut down versions thereof of the main content.
Yeah,
the consultations and stuff.
Yeah, because your high-end consulting is obviously always going to be your high-ticket item because that's exclusively you doing all the work.
One-on-one per organisation.
Yeah. But I think the ones underneath that, there could be maybe 4 components rather than 6 if you kind of use your webinars and all those stuff as bonus resources rather than as a service offering.
Possibly, yeah. As I said, I haven't thought about it. Yes, it's
valid. But that's something you can sit on and you can think about as you progress because if they know that they have access to resources, then that's attractive as opposed to saying you have to do that as a part of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's just, you're still delivering it. It's just the way it's offered in terms of the package and the system. Well, that's included in that. So when you get that, where it includes this and this, you automatically get access to the webinars. Whether you're on the webinar or not, it doesn't really matter. You get that resource and the Q&A segment and whatever else. So to them, it's like, oh, wow, there's 4 offerings. And in this offering, I get so much value. In this one, I get so much value. And they see the value no matter which option they choose.
Yeah.
Rather than having, because I think with this audience, they're probably going to be more inclined to purchase something where you're going to give them insights or take the pressure off them, depending on how big of a company they are. They're probably going to go, well, if she can come in and solve these problems, then
it's not going to be even. So this is a good question because this affects the branding. So the part of the branding is going to be visionary, intuitive, for what was the term I used before? Social, technology innovative companies or technology innovative companies. However, I haven't got the right phrasing for this yet, but so I'll be their intuitive visionary strategist or visionary strategist or something like that. So that already to me kind of says, well, they know that we're focusing on big picture. And right now when you're talking, part of my thinking is they already know. So this is what I know about them. They already have a social endeavour or a thing that they would love to have happen in the bigger picture that they help contribute to making a difference in the world. They don't know how to bring that into their business. They don't know how to bring their business to the level of being profitable enough to contribute to that, whether it be in time or money. They're driven, they're passionate, they're excited and all that stuff. And And they're somewhat, want for better of a way of describing it, consciously aware or spiritually aware that there's more to life than just business and stuff. So I suppose in a sense I'm getting the impression that the Gen Ys that are hitting into their, almost into their 30s, they're into their late 20s and early 30s. Now, I could be wrong, but that's what's coming through right now in the conversation. So they're aspiring to be or see themselves as the next Elon Musk. Does that make sense? Does that give you more idea?
Yeah. So are you then targeting to support them?
Yes.
Okay. So okay. Because now then this takes another whole take on it, because if that's the target audience, you're not looking for the company. You're not looking for a company that is led by someone in their 50s.
No, 40s or 50s. No. We're talking about young social innovators. That's why I said they've got to be, I think they're good. They're going to be Gen Ys because they get the innovation thing. They get how to think differently. They had their own little communities. They want more for themselves and the future, but they don't know how to get that to happen. They don't have the experience, the knowledge, the whatever else. That's what I give them.
And which means then your brand needs to represent their lifestyle.
Yeah, it's got to be really kind of, I don't know how to describe it. Catchy.
It has to be catchy, but it has to be innovative as well. It's a bit like,
yes,
you know, when you look at like Apple, it's just an apple and everyone knows Apple. Like it resonates with anyone of any age, but with what you're doing, it needs to be that cool and innovative.
Yeah.
And it will, I suppose, with time, it will get a facelift every few years because you're targeting that young audience as opposed to an audience that is growing with you. Because it's a bit like a school where they're coming through past your offerings. Yeah. They grow and evolve and then they move on.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know whether you remember.
So that could be one of the low-end offerings or the middle-level offering.
Yeah.
Tech Innovator School.
Yeah,
like
a program, you know, a bit like the Entourage, how they offer that.
Yeah.
You know how like they have an educational forum, they've got their business aspect, but then they've got an educational forum which is, I think, like a 6-month course that you do, and it shows you how to set up the business, how to get your marketing, how to get your sales, you know, like that whole thing. So you might go and show them, you know, that's the vision. Well, this is the groundwork you need to do, this is the planning segment you need to do, this is that, and you map it all out over 6 months, and that's like their low ticket entry point. And then from there, then they can make a decision. Are they going to go on to this? Are they going to go on to this? Or are they going to go on to that? And there's just 3 options. And after the 3, the top level is your one-on-one consulting, where you know, essentially you're there. Your brains are available for them to pick it right out, kind of thing, as I say, you know. Because what I was going to say is, I don't know whether you remember, probably about 4 years, maybe 4, maybe less, I don't know. But remember how NAB had a branding where they were NAB, and then they went and kept the NAB, but they gave it a new face, like a new lift, where now it's all in like in lower.
Yeah, I remember those mountain climber ads and all that cliche kind of phrasing they used. Yes, I remember that.
Yes. So what I'm saying to you is you will create a brand, but then every few years you will need to adapt to the newest change and give it a facelift, because it won't be your stock standard what you have for like Planet Bee's success, because that is a strong, solid brand as it is, but it supports a different audience. It supports a different mindset, a different lifestyle. This one is more, it has to be catchy and trendy and trending for those newbies coming along, because their mindset has to be attracted to that.
Yeah.
You get me, yeah?
Yeah.
So I think one of your action tasks that I've written down so far for you is obviously looking at the branding concept, but also I think really, really important for you is to refine your mission and vision statement is good, but it needs to be refined a lot.
Oh yeah. As I said, this is just loosely. I have no clarity around the actual wording of that. And as you know, wording isn't my strong point anyway. So,
have you had a chat to Joe Johnson?
No, I haven't, because as I said, this has all just come to light this morning, really. I think I mentioned to you I'm going on a weekend business retreat in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
I've got a lot more groundwork I want to get through before going to that, but some of that will to be actually just secure that.
Yep.
Secure that branding.
Yeah, Joe will be able to really hone in on this, given she's been in corporate world with, I think, not exactly this industry, but she has that corporate experience of writing stuff and being on the other side of it. With this industry, she'll be able to give you a particular style of writing, because I'm pretty sure with this audience, you will need to adapt a new style of writing almost. Like, I'm talking to small business, you can get away with staying authentic to you. And not that I'm saying you need to be, lose that sense of you, but I think
you
have to keep your fun, cool, hippie kind of look, but you'll need to use words that resonate with them in that message, because remember, they're stepping into unknown territory and they're looking for support, but that support needs to resonate with them. So words will play a big part, not just visuals.
Although visuals are probably more important to some of them than
depending on how you're going to start targeting them. If you're going to use video, then it wouldn't really matter, because they're going to connect.
It has to be video for them. Well, I mean, the importance of video now anyway in marketing, but they that's what they don't read much.
No, they're not
video,
readers.
audio.
Yeah. And that's I said to you, I think the webinar offering and those other little pieces that you mentioned, that would be a part of a service offering that is already attached to a bigger program. It wouldn't be just jump on a webinar. No. The webinar, this and this other support system is all a part of package A. You either have package A, you have B, or you have C, and that's it. There is no, because otherwise, coming back to this month's topic, otherwise there's no systemization, there's no automation for you, which means you're going to be again like the mouse on the wheel, just running.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
So you rather go, no, let me pull back. These are the 3 systems in place. 2 of them run on autopilot because I don't need to do the work. I created their login, they do whatever they have to do. And when I do the mentoring and the service offering, then I'm on there. So that's systemization there, and to some degree automation. And then as you receive feedback and with time, when you start tracking it, you'll be able to then go, okay, this I could either merge with something else, or this I need to run on autopilot without me completely. Because with this particular business, Tara, because I think
I can't hear you, Sam.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Just go back about 2 sentences and I'll probably be able to catch up in a sec.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So what I was going to say was, with this audience and the business that you're trying to create, it might be really crucial to think long term and look at how you can actually put this whole model, apart from your consulting work, on autopilot. So it's almost like that school model. You have all the resources, all the strategies, and it's a community within a community, and you're just sitting at that top forum going, okay, I'm going to support you guys, but you're going to do the groundwork and the layering before you get to that.
Okay, cool. And that's why part of why I like your idea of the school. When you're talking about Entourage, the Tech Innovator School, Business School, is kind of a great way to do that.
Yeah.
Because it also, so part of those expressions that I identified as key for me, apart from, well, let me actually read through them. Whoops. Let me read through them for you, because then you get a better understanding of where I'm coming from. So the intuitive, visionary, empath, spiritual, we know that. The educate, speak, change maker. So the change maker is them, the innovators, and the educate, guide, and mentor is how I work. That's how I deliver stuff now. So we already know that's on track. So it's bringing in more of the speaking to those audiences, and so that's why the school fits perfectly with that.
And which means if you think about it long term like that, you don't even need to be doing all the groundwork. You would attract other people that are aligned to this concept that can do the groundwork for you once you get it up and running.
You mean as in lead gen groundwork?
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, if you know how you've got the online space where you're going to offer them resources and support, what I'm saying is you might attract 2 other leaders that want to lead this tribe as well. So get out of being so much doing the work. You could just manage the business from a management point while servicing the higher audience, where you're doing the consultancy work rather than doing the other little nitty-gritty parts in the lower end offerings.
Yes, and the other interesting part about this is because of the target market and my bent on some other aspects, there will be a lot of co-collaboration with some of my clients.
Oh, for sure. Which
that brings and evokes all of that whole mission as well.
Yeah, definitely, because you'll be able to tie that in, definitely. Like really,
because some of the tools I want to create, I might engage them to do so, or we do it as a partnership or whatever. I mean, I don't know the full details yet, but yeah. No, definitely. Okay, so I just have to get my control freak out of the way for that, some of that to happen, perhaps. But we know how hard that is for us, don't we, Sam?
Oh, exactly. It's like got a freak on, got my control freak on. Take that hat off. Oh crap, that's just gone to my head. Okay, so then what I might do, I think you and I should have a conversation outside of this space to dig this to unpack this a little bit more. But I might do is I might wrap up this call in this space here, so the recording people get context to that over the next 5 minutes, and kind of leave that there. So they don't, I mean, the other guys don't need the nitty gritty insider packaging, because that's not going to impact them in any way. But if I was to wrap up this call around your system and automation, I can't even talk now. System and automation, but also.
I've blown you away that much.
I know. Yesterday,
I know, I saw your post.
I was left speechless as well. I was with the author onboarding call, and her story just left me speechless. And I did a Facebook Live, and I was still struggling to talk.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was like, okay, that was a bit full on, and everyone's like, oh, Samantha speechless. I'm like, yeah, I know, that does happen every time.
Yeah, cherish the moment.
Exactly. I'm like, okay.
All right.
So maybe I'm still recovering from that, so just bear with me.
And then I've just buzzed you again.
Exactly. It's like, what the hell's going on this week? Like, I'm getting like, that when you get zapped.
I know, it's cool, isn't it? I love that.
Oh dear. I'm like, yep, it's one of those weeks. Okay, so
I'll wait for more of it to happen.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure when I talk to you one-on-one, I'd be zapped a bit more than going.
Oh no, I don't even mean just by me. I mean, it's, you're in that space now. Anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Cool. Okay. So with your business
system
model,
automation. Yeah.
I think you have got the niche right now. It's just getting the branding, so honing in the branding. But I really think, Tara, with what you've got now, with the, as I said, with the skeleton. The concept is now skeleton. Now you need to flesh it and add the chunky, like as I said, the meat and the potatoes to it. In that context, if you're looking at systemization and automation, I think it is absolutely crucial that you don't spread yourself thin, because it would be easy in this process, because you are such a value added giver and you love delivering content and you've got a lot of resources for you to go, oh, I'll offer 10 things. But this is where I need you to go, no, it's only 4 offerings. And the 4 offerings are, you've got your high-end coaching, consulting, mentoring, it's a high-ticket item, and then you've got 3 layers. And the school concept is very much attached to 1 or 2, And then the third one is a standalone, which kind of is the direct link between the high-end coaching and the school option.
The school could even be 3, because it could be levels within that are side offerings. That would make it really nice and simple and easy.
Exactly.
So there's the base level, you get a little bit, you get a teaser or a trial or whatever, and then there's the, okay, you want to do a year, or then you subscribe and you renew each year, or you subscribe on a kind of lifetime basis, I guess. I don't know, this is just playing in my head.
Oh, look, and what I think is, I mean, I do know some people that have done the Entourage different programs. Some of them absolutely loved it, and some of them hated it. And one of the things when they said it was just a complete mess, I said, well, what do you mean by a complete mess? Because, you know, Jack and the main team, like, they're awesome. Like, I'm confused. And they said, you know what it was? It was the fact that we didn't have the same person delivering the message. Like, 1 week it's one person, second week some other guy. Now they were repeating our challenges that we mentioned last week, and it was just a joke. Like, we were constantly on repeat because they were not internally communicating. Yeah. And this is why I said to you, don't get hung up when you're looking at automation. Don't get hung up on saying, oh, I'm going to be present on every live call, and I'm going to be, no. It's pre-recorded, it's done. You go listen to it, and then I'm going to take Q&As. So there's a lot more. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, that's what I envision. All the content part, absolutely pre-recorded, somewhat polished, but and this won't be available for all levels, but, you know, in some places there'll be the forum or the Facebook group or whatever, and in other places there'll be that plus the Q&A mentoring calls.
Exactly.
Or some might be just the Q&A. I haven't kind of divvied that up yet, but yes, this is good because this is teasing it out in my head, so thank you.
Because I think it's really important, because given that, you know, it's safe to say, you know, I've known you for quite a long time, and I know that you love to give all these things that are going on in your head, but then it takes a lot out of you in terms of time and capacity. And we don't want to give this group of audience, because remember, they're coming into a whole new world, and it will be very easy for them to get attached to you going, oh, it's awesome. Like, this program is so different because this means we can pick our brains right out. The moment you get to about 12 to 15 people, you're going to be like, oh shit, like, I need a holiday.
12 to 15 groups I would be. Yes.
Yeah, like it wouldn't work, you know, on a larger scale, because you can't feed that you know, that. No,
that's right. But you know what? That's manageable. And this is where it's important for others to kind of listen to this. Because I'm so system oriented. Okay, great. I can work around that. I have so much that's low level, that is, let's say 10, 15 groups at once for a period of time. They're 3-month or 6-month groups. That's all. And they go in cycles, one of those every year. So you have a set intake. Right? Easy. Work around that. All the other content stuff that comes out can be just put in the middle or top levels. That come, all the other tools and ideas and other offerings and value adds you want to create over time, just go in the top or the middle, or some will sift through either one. So it doesn't have to be all about my effort. Then, as a value add, I can add in other people's content, like, for example, perhaps yours or other people's stuff that is of relevance.
Yes, yeah.
But it's not a one-on-one situation. It's a group recorded delivery.
Yes, that would be crucial. And that is where your systemization and automation will kick into full swing. So you're running it from day one, where there is a system in place, and there is an attachment to Tara, but it's not dependent on Tara. So for whatever reason, if you needed a week off, the cookie is not going to crumble. They're not even going to know that Tara had disappeared off the radar for a week. Like, yeah. And then from there, as moving on to the client retainer side, I would think a good offering would be they have to be on board for 12 months, and they could have a 3-year membership thereafter. So generally, you know, with any business, no matter how creative you are and how awesome you are, that first 3 years is always challenging. you've got encountered so many different things. You kind of rework it, then you go back to the drawing board, then you get clarity, then you go back again. So I think it would be a 12-month followed by a 3-year in terms of a retention-based thing, because that way you'll be able to track as to how they're progressing. So for the second year, the new intake coming, you might tweak some of the offerings depending on how this first round is performing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm just making notes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Cool. All right. Did you have any other questions for me before I wrap up this call, and then I'll talk to you one-on-one?
No, I think that kind of hones in on all those things you've said. And the client, I just want to say for other people's benefit, the client retainer element of this, which is the consulting, flips normal models on their head, especially for startups.
Yeah.
Because that's where they usually start to get to know their market.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to say to this is that if you get your funnel and your automation right, there's not a lot of constant client maintenance or client relationship building that needs to be done, because it's all part of your system, and everyone starts at the same one or two possibility points. Yes. And they just get fed into the automation process as it is from that point, which ends up being all the same thing, all the same process, all the same. If they've been here 6 months, they get this email. If they've been here 3 months and they came in through this channel, they get this email, plus they get that email or whatever it is, as an example.
Yeah, exactly. And that is where that whole concept of really refining the automation as well as keeping them on retainers is, one, going to be a value add for them, but it gives you the opportunity to really forecast your business, where is it headed, where do I need to take a check-in, where do I need to tweak, what is it that I need to refine, and maybe scrap or relaunch. Like, you're going to have so much insights to it. So yeah. Cool. All right, what we might do is we might wrap up this call. Can I call you back in half an hour, or do you need to chat to me straight away?
No, let me just look at my schedule to make sure I'm going to be free in half an hour. Yes, I have to leave here at 2-ish, so that's fine.
Okay, so I'll call you between 11 and 11:10, and we'll unpack this for another about half an hour in detail.
Beautiful, thank you.
Cool. All righty. Well, I'll let you go. To those of you listening, this is the last call for this mastermind. But as I said, you will be all in the new mastermind for 2018. It is going to run a little bit differently. We are not, just to give you context, we're not going to do monthly topics. We are going to take your situation that is happening in that month, and we're going to unpack it with actionable tasks. So we're doing it a little bit differently. There's going to be online segments, and then there's going to be physical segments. So out of the 10 months, 5 months will be face-to-face with me, and then 5 months will be online. So every alternative month, it will run that way. So that's a little bit of context for you. And given that...
when you say face-to-face, do you mean like in-person event?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to clarify my understanding.
Yeah, so 5 months will run on Zoom, and then 5 months will run face-to-face with me. At this stage, it's probably looking like it will be at the Waterman Business Centre around the table in Narre But depending on who comes on board, it might be actually Waterman in Chadstone. So I will keep you all posted once I have logistics confirmed when I complete my planning process at the end of November. So I do my yearly planning at the end of November. So you will have the logistics to that. End of November, early December. But as I said, you can still participate, or you might go, no, I don't want to participate, but you have access to that completely complimentary. Obviously, I ask that, you don't disclose that to the new people who are coming on board. But just because I think because some of you took action in that month, some of you just dropped off the radar and you just randomly call me and go, oh, I listened to that, but now I'm confused. And that's because I think there were various components, and that's why those one-on-ones helped me gain insights as to how I could make this better. To be quite honest,
Okay.
how I can make it better.
Can I just chime in there for a minute, Sam?
Yeah.
Something that I know that happens, and this has been extremely prevalent this last 2 months.
Yep.
A lot of the small business owners I come into contact with, or I have had discussions with over the last 3 months, have really had stuff come up which goes, no way, block walls. Oh, hang on, I've lost power.
Tara's disappeared. Oh, she's gone. And now she's going to come back. I'm pretty sure she's going to come back. But look, as I said, all of you are welcome into next year's Mastermind, kicking off in February all the way to November. 5 months via Zoom, 5 months face-to-face, either in Narre Warren or in Chadstone. I will keep you guys posted. Or we might even mix up the physical ones. We might mix it up going, okay, well, this month we're in Narre, and then 2 months later we're in Chadstone. I don't know, but I'll give you all the logistics later. Let's see what Tara's going to come on board and share anything with us. If not, I might just leave you guys there and chat to you all pretty soon. Yeah, I'm not sure if Tara's going to come back on. Let me see. Yeah, maybe not. All right, I might just leave you guys there. Have an awesome day. I will chat to you all sometime in November. Keep in touch. Oh, there's Tara.
Sorry about that. I dropped off completely. My battery went flat. What I was going to say, I know this has been a really prevalent thing for a lot of people recently.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, there's lots of reasons I know, but I can't communicate right now. This just stops people dead in their tracks. And in some regards, it's a self-sabotage technique, in others it's not. But what I was going to say, if it's okay with Sam, and tell me to shut up if it's not, is I am happy to offer everyone in this group a complimentary, let's get the shit out the way, remove the blockages session, if they want it. Now, I've got to tell you, though, that I won't let you muck around. We're going to actually get in there, dig it out, and kick it in the bin forever. But you've got to be willing to do that. But I'm happy to do that for members of this group so you can get your shit together and get on with it next year.
Oh, I think that's awesome, Tara. And what I'll do is when I post this in the business chats, you know how you have unlimited support in the business chats group, I will mention that you've got an offer. And then if you want to go in there and just, comment or engage with people, that way they can book in some time.
I'll message you a link they can go to book some time then.
Yeah, cool. That sounds good. All right, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you there. I will chat to you all soon. If you've not had a session with me one-on-one, please book it in before the end of November because I'm not doing any one-on-one sessions in the month of December. So, yeah. Well, it's Christmas. I got my Christmas groove on.
We were going to talk anyway after this, Sam, weren't we?
Yes, I'm going to talk to you at 11.
Yeah. So we will. Yeah, no, we had already talked about a time to talk about something else, remember?
Yeah. About powerful conversations, yes.
Yeah.
I remember. I've got it in my diary. Cool. All right, guys. I will leave you there. Have an awesome, awesome day. And I will see you all soon. Bye.
Thank you.
That's okay. Bye.